Welcome to the channel. Thank you for checking out today's video. In today's video we're going to be checking out the brand new gimbal called the Weeble 3E Cinepeer from ZHIYUN. Let's get straight into it. Now make sure you stay to the end of the video because we'll be giving you exclusive discount codes for this very gimbal. Like I say, this is a brand new gimbal from ZHIYUN called the Weeble 3E Cinepeer. Let's have a look at unboxing it and see what we get exactly inside the package. Now straight out of the box we get this really nice padded protective case that holds the gimbal. And here is everything that we get included with this gimbal. And my first impressions of the gimbal are that it feels really nice in hand, very nice quality with a solid construction. The mounting system for attaching the camera feels very well made and again feels high quality. Now anybody that owns the Weeble 3S might recognise some of the features built into this gimbal. We have the built-in trigger and control wheel at the front of the handle. You have the power button, menu button and selection wheel on the right hand side of the handle. And we have the joystick, record and mode buttons placed off to the left hand side of the handle. Now the built-in battery, which can be recharged by using the USB-C port on the side of the gimbal, has a reported battery life of 16 hours. All of the arms on the gimbal are initially locked into position using a latch mechanism system, which can be unlocked by pulling down on the latch. Now the first thing we have to do is balance our camera setup onto the gimbal, and if you've never balanced a camera before onto a gimbal, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, because in the very next video that I'll be releasing, I'll be showing you exactly how to do that with this very gimbal. Now ZHIYUN say that the motors on this gimbal can take the same payload as a Weeble 3S, and I do believe that. Even with my Sony a7 IV and Tamron 70-180 lens combination, the gimbal still had room for extra weight. Now powering up the gimbal, all you have to do is hold in the power button for 2 seconds, and to enter into that automatic calibration mode on the gimbal, all we do is press the menu button once and then press the selection wheel button twice. The gimbal now goes into automatic calibration mode for your setup. This process takes about 15 seconds to complete and allows the gimbal to know how much power is needed to each of the motors for the weight of your setup. And as long as you've balanced your camera correctly, you'll get a tick confirming that you're all ready to go. Now because this Cinepeer 3E gimbal is a more budget friendly option in terms of the gimbals on the market at the moment, you might be thinking that it's missing some of the pro features that you get in more expensive gimbals. But that isn't the case. By diving into the menu system, you'll see that we get all the customizable controls and settings that are required to make this a professional level gimbal. We get all the advanced features that you find on the more expensive gimbals. Now let's take a look at some of the different modes on this gimbal, and we'll start with the first one, which is pan follow. In this mode we can still pan the camera left and right, but it's locked horizontally. By pressing on the M button we can change our mode, and the next one is called lock mode. Our camera in this mode is completely locked horizontally and you cannot pan left or right either. Pressing the M button again moves us on to our next mode, which is called follow mode. In this mode, wherever we move our handle, the camera will follow with a slight delay. The amount of time delay between the handle and camera moving is completely customizable. Now by double tapping on our mode button, we access further modes. The first one is POV. This is very similar to the previous follow mode, just be aware there's no delay between the movement of the handle and your camera. Double tapping on the mode button again enters the next mode, which is called the vortex mode. In this mode it changes the angle of attack of our camera and locks the rotation from the handle. Pressing the menu button twice again enters our final mode, which is called portrait mode. What this does is shoot the camera upwards so we can do vertical shooting. So that's all the modes on this gimbal, but we can take manual control over our camera by either using the control wheel on the rear of the handle, which is fully customizable. I have mine set to pan left or right, or we can use the joystick on the front of the handle, again which is fully customizable. Now by double tapping the trigger on the rear of the handle resets the position of your camera, or by pressing this trigger 3 times rotates our camera 180 degrees. Now we can take control of some of the camera settings by using the supplied USB-C cable, plugging it into the gimbal and then plugging it into your camera. Or if your camera comes with Bluetooth built in, then you can use the built-in Bluetooth of the gimbal to pair up the devices, and then there's no need to use this cable. Oh, and did I tell you, you can take control of your gimbal via the dedicated app on your smart device. Now if this all sounds very complicated, I promise you it's not. In fact, I'm going to show you now with someone that's never had experience before of using a gimbal. We're going to show you just how easy it can be. Okay then, so the best way that I thought of testing this gimbal out is to give it to someone that's never used a gimbal before, and we're going to do 2 repeatable tests. First, my friend here Charlie, who's never operated a gimbal before, or a camera for that matter, what we're going to do is have him follow us behind me with the camera as smooth as he can without the gimbal, and then we're going to repeat the test with the gimbal. We're going to watch the footage back and he's going to give you his honest opinion about it. So let's start off with the first test. Okay, let's do the first test with the walking test. Charlie's going to keep the camera as smooth as possible and we're going to see how the footage comes out. Now with the gimbal, we're in pan follow mode. So what that means is turning the handle. So if you feel it's veering off, you can twist the handle. Okay, so we've just gone and watched the footage now of the handheld and on the gimbal. Now, like I say, this is Charlie's first time doing this type of thing. So first off, Charlie, what did you feel to the handheld footage? What did you expect? Was it better than you thought or more shakier than you thought?
I thought it was okay in terms of like holding the camera and trying to sort of keep up, but also keep the balance okay, so it wasn't jiggling around too much. But I do feel like with the camera just in my hands, I felt like it was quite, because it's on your wrists and your wrists are a little bit wobbly, like it was hard to maintain that complete stillness.
You don't realise, do you, how much you think you've got it dead stable, but it's not quite
100%.
Especially when you're just going backwards. Almost.
Yeah, backwards, going back on your heels and trying to, 100. That was more impactful.
And what do you think about it on the gimbal? How much of a difference did it make?
I do believe the gimbal actually, like, it flattened everything, so there was no sort of bobbiness. It was nice and flat. The only thing that it was a little bit impactful on was slight rotation, but
you know, that's your first time using a gimbal, though.
100%.
I mean, there was bound to be that kind of.
But in terms of the general smoothness, it was definitely a level or two up from just having it in your hands.
Okay then. Right, thank you very much. Let's move on to the next test and we'll see how it goes. Now looking back over them clips, maybe I could have put Charlie in lock mode rather than pan follow mode to stop for the overcompensating of the rotation of the handle. Or we could have dialed in some of the settings on the gimbal to make it more customizable for his handling. So as you saw there, I put my good friend Charlie on the spot with the gimbal there, and I think it's important when you're doing these review videos of technology and equipment like this that you do give them to someone with no experience, just to show you what you can expect if you've never used a gimbal before. Now what I'm going to do now is head out into the real world with a gimbal, try my best to get some really good shots so I can give you a conclusion and my final thoughts about this gimbal and if you should consider buying it. Stay around to the end also because I will be giving you them discount codes. Right, let's head out off and see what we can capture. But what are my final conclusions then to this gimbal, and should you consider buying it? Well, I absolutely love this gimbal, and I'll tell you why in a second. But first let me highlight two of the issues that I found with it. The first is the adjustable arm on the left hand side. I found it a little bit sticky and hard to adjust. The second issue I had was where your thumb sits on the grip. I could feel it rubbing on the slight join between the plastic materials. I would have liked this a little bit smoother. But they were the only two issues that I had with this gimbal. Other than that, it really is the perfect gimbal. It is so small and compact that it doesn't draw attention to yourself, and because the gimbal is so lightweight, I was able to record for a whole day without any arm fatigue. Added to this all the advanced professional features that are built into this gimbal, and coming in at a price tag of only £249 UK, it really is a no-brainer. It gets my highest recommendation. For all of you that have made it to the end of the video, check out in the description, there'll be a discount code just for you. Make sure you check it out. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see further videos from myself, hit that subscribe button, but for now that's it. We'll catch up in the next video. Thanks everybody for watching. See you soon.